This video, I'm going to be showing you a couple of light-related edits that you can make in Photoshop. So the two different edits that I am going to be showing you today is how to adjust the brightness of a picture and also how to adjust the exposure of a picture. So let's go ahead and start with exposure. Essentially what exposure is the amount of light that is being let into your camera when the picture is being taken. So if you have a particularly sunny day, you may have a lot more light that comes into the camera and washes out your picture. Or maybe you have a day that's a bit gloomier and you don't get quite enough light within that lens. So Photoshop allows you to adjust the amount of light essentially that has come in there to try to balance that out. So in order to do this, you need to go up to the adjustment panel, which is on your right, and you can click where there is this plus and minus sign within the rectangle. So if you click on that, it's going to bring up a box for exposure. So you can see the top scroll bar you have at the top here. You have the ability to either turn up the exposure or you can turn it down. So if you think that you did not get enough light in your picture, you can turn the exposure up more towards the positive side and it'll let more light into that picture. So you can go and bring it all the way up to the point where it's all light that's been brought in. Or you can do the opposite. If your picture is washed out and too bright, you can bring the exposure down and you can do that to the point where there is no light let in. So exposure really lets you bring in less or bring in more light depending on what the setting was when you took the picture itself. Now I'm going to show you how you can adjust the brightness of a picture. So what brightness is the overall lightness and darkness of the photo. So it's related, but not to exposure, but not the exact same thing. So in order to change this, if you go back up to your adjustment panel, you can find what looks like a sun that's half dark and half light. So if you click on that, you can see that your top scroll bar has to do with brightness. So again, you can turn the brightness up to make it lighter, or you can turn it down to make it darker. So if I turn it up, I am now making my overall picture a brighter tone. And if I turn it down, I can make the overall tone of my picture just a lot darker. So instead of letting more light in or less light in like the exposure, we are instead just making that overall brightness or either darker or lighter. So depending on what mood you are going for, you can adjust that brightness. So with both exposure and with your brightness, you can really adjust the light of a picture to try to make up for some of the lighting that there was when you were taking the picture at the time.